Anushka Vani, digital editor at EM and A&D Magazine. Today we have with us Mr. Anil G, who is a co-founder and CEO at Bounce Infinity. It's a pleasure having you here today with us. So, Bounce Infinity has truly marked a significant milestone in the Indian automotive landscape, not just as a pioneer in introducing the country's first electric scooter equipped with swappable battery and home charging docks, but also offering a supreme level of customization through customizable skin. This visionary approach not only addresses the growing environmental concerns, but also aligns perfectly with the evolving consumer preferences with sustainable personalized mobility solutions. As the electric vehicle sector, particularly the two-wheeler segment, continues to witness exponential growth in India, I would like to begin with the question answers with you.
Sure,
So,
Anushka.
my first question to you is with the increasing popularity of electric vehicles in India, especially in the two-wheeler segment, how is Bounce planning to tap into this opportunity?
Got it. See, I think India is a great market for two-wheelers. Overall market size, I would say, for two-wheelers is around 12 to 14 million. We are the highest two-wheeler buying population in the world, I would say. We're the biggest market in the world. Currently, I think the EV penetration in India is around 5 to 6%. The rest of the people are still buying IC vehicles. So the opportunity as such for people to really transition to EV and OEMs like us is quite huge, right? Now, how do you target these market is primarily to build vehicles that are practical for people to use. When it comes to electric vehicle, a lot of inhibitions are there in people's mind today. It could be around, how to charge the vehicles. It could be around the battery safety. It could be around will the economics work out because they don't know whether the cost per kilometer will always be economical as compared to IC. So these are questions that people have in mind. But I think EV has solved for all of them. It's all about educating people about this, making them aware of the benefits that they can get, mostly economically, as well as the contribution that they can do for the environment. It's more in terms of people getting educated and think the transition is not too far. The growth has been great. CAGR growth that we are seeing is anywhere around 85 to 90%, which is very promising. So I think the awareness is definitely coming in. More and more people are opting for this. And I think we're not too far to see most of the vehicles being bought in India to being EV.
Absolutely, absolutely. As rightly pointed by you, we are actually moving towards a sustainable choice when it comes to vehicles. So, I would like to know, how do you see the trends of swappable batteries contributing to the convenience and accessibility of electric scooters, particularly in the urban areas where, charging infrastructure might be still developing?
Yeah. So, see, like I was telling, this is one of the inhibitions that people have to transition to EV, right? Most of the vehicles, I would say 95% of the vehicles, electric vehicles being sold in the market today, they come with fixed battery, which means a user is expected to have a plug point wherever he parks his vehicle. India is a country where it's hard for you to even find a parking space, and expecting a user to have a plug point is just impractical. So as a company, we knew about this because we come from a very rich background of running large fleets in the shared mobility business that we were doing earlier. We run more than 30,000 plus scooters in various parts of country. So we understand the importance of the charging infra, which is why we always made the scooter with a portable battery, which means the customer can carry the battery home, charge it like how he charges his phone overnight, and then put it back on the vehicle and ride. That is a more practical way of solving for charging infra. than hoping for a day where everybody will have a place to park their vehicle and also have a plug point next to it, right? So I think as and when more and more adoption happens, these are something that people will need for a large population to really adopt.
Mhm.
And in terms of swapping, I would say, as an add-on layer to this, swapping is a way where a customer can today buy a vehicle without buying a battery. In electric vehicle battery, today people buy vehicle plus battery, and that's the price that they pay upfront. But with battery swapping, a user can actually buy just the vehicle and not the battery, which will reduce his upfront cost by almost 40%. Right, that's a big cost reduction, and the vehicles will be very competitive as compared to IC. Electric vehicle, for example, a vehicle like ours is around a lakh today. A 40% reduction for 60,000 rupees, and cost of operating battery using battery swapping, your cost per kilometer will be somewhere around 70 to 1 rupee, 70 paisa to 1 rupee per kilometer, which is super economical as compared to how much they currently pay for fuel vehicle, which is around 2.5 to 3 rupees per kilometer. So there is clear cost benefit both in terms of upfront cost as well as the running cost of EVs. And I think more and more people will start adopting. We are the only OEM today who have integrated our vehicle with battery swapping, and we offer this as a service where customers can buy a vehicle without battery and choose for battery swapping. We partner with people like Battery Smart and a few other battery swapping operators in India, where customers can find a battery swapping station in less than a kilometer, go swap out the battery and carry on with their journey. Right. So we believe this is how EV transition at masses is going to happen in India, both with portable battery that people can carry home and charge, plus people adopting to battery swapping, where they just buy the scooter without battery and use the battery swapping infra for energy.
Right, absolutely. And how earlier we discussed that people are actually moving towards a sustainable choice when it comes to their vehicles. And which is why they would have to start having installing these home charging docks. So,
Right.
how do like, can you elaborate on how home charging docks seem to address the issues of charging accessibility?
Got it. So like I mentioned, home charging I think is the right way to solve for EV adoption with portable battery. So how a home charging dock works is basically you have a battery that is portable, which means you can carry the battery home and charge, and the charger is also portable. It's not like a special installation that you need in your home. It is like any charger. Like a good example will be like how your laptop charger is. It looks similar to that. And it can be plugged into any 3-pin socket, like how you plug in your laptop or phone. Right? Any 3-pin socket. You don't need a special plug point or as such. So home docking basically means this, where a customer can carry the battery home, plug the charger to any 3-pin socket and charge it. He can do this in his office also. Let's say somebody wants to charge his battery at his office, like how we charge our laptops and phones in our office using a 3-pin socket that is there. A similar kind of a behavior can be done using a portable battery, right? So this is how the solution works. So,
Okay.
like I mentioned, adoption to EV is, I would believe, is largely dependent on a technology like this than expecting people to have a plug point where they park, which is, I think, very, very impractical.
Right, absolutely. And I think with that, with this solution in hand, like people can actually charge their vehicles anywhere, and it's not
Yes,
only restricted to their homes or offices, and they can
yes,
actually travel with the charger along with
you're
them.
right. You're right. You're right.
Right. Which, with that, I'd like to come to my next point, and I want to know what strategies does Bounce Infinity have in place to address concerns about range anxiety, which is often
Got it.
cited as a barrier to wider adoption of electric vehicles.
Got it. See, I think this is again on range. It's a notion that people have in their mind that they will need a lot of range in an electric vehicle. See, national average that is there on the kilometers that people travel in a day is not more than 30 kilometers a day, right? Nobody travels more than 30 kilometers a day. Now, that much range is quite enough for a customer to use a scooter in the normal duration. But people have this inhibition saying, what if I travel somewhere else during the day or some of the day and I need a higher range? So generally, the vehicles that are available in the market, even us, we promise a real world range of around 70 to 80 kilometers per charge, right? Which I think is sufficient. But I understand that there are customers who would need more than that. I would not say everyone, but there would be certain sector of customers who would need range more than that. People who work far away or people who are in the logistics or delivery business, etc. For them, there is a need for higher range, right? Now, how do you solve for that? There are two ways that we have cracked. One is enabling fast charging using a portable battery and a charger, right? Generally, again in the market, if you see, many OEMs promise around technology around fast charging. However, a customer is expected to go to a particular fast charging dock that is set up by the OEM and charge the vehicle there. It's only there that they can do fast charging and not everywhere else, right? And they can't do fast charging at home, for example, unless they have a specific installation made. Now that's a barrier, right? Like that doesn't work practically. So what we have done is we have built a new technology called liquid cooled batteries, and this will enable a customer to charge the battery, like fast charge the battery, even using a normal 15 amp socket that is available everywhere, right? The battery is portable, the charger is portable, the behavior is exactly the same. You can carry the battery anywhere and then charge it using a 3-pin socket, 15 amp 3-pin socket, right? And the batteries can be charged up to 80% within 40-45 minutes, which again, gives higher range. The battery as is gives him a range of around 100 kilometers per charge, but he needs, if somebody needs higher range, then he can use fast charging using a portable battery and charger, right? So this is how we believe the technology will evolve for fast charging and range. The other option to solve for range is battery swapping, right? Where a customer buys the scooter without battery and chooses the battery swapping as an option to use, which means he can go to any battery swapping station, swap out the battery, and carry on with his journey. Which means his range in a way is infinite, right? So he can travel as many kilometers as he wants because there is always a battery swapping station, like how a petrol bunk is anywhere, and he can just keep swapping out and continuing his journey, right? So these are two ways how we believe range anxiety as a problem can be resolved for an end user. The third option, which we believe is the most inefficient way of solving for range, which I think some of the OEMs are currently doing, is by putting very big batteries, which will unnecessarily increase the cost of the vehicle also, right? A bigger battery, you get higher range, but it will also increase the cost of the vehicle, which is not practical at the end of the day, right? Nobody would want to pay higher money to buy vehicles. I think the first option is the right way to solve for range, and that's how we are trying to work on.
Right, absolutely. And I think, with that, people would also prefer to have something that's, that is compact and won't be, something that's like bulky, and heavy that they have to carry around everywhere they go. So, with that, I would like to move on to our next point of sustainability. So, in the light of increasing focus on sustainability and eco consciousness among consumers, how are you planning to contribute to the environmental preservation, and how does this resonate with your target market?
Got it. See, I think while many of the customers choosing electric vehicle, they choose it because the cost of running an electric vehicle is cheaper as compared to EV. So it's a pure economic decision. But we have seen a good chunk of people who also buy electric vehicle because they want to do good for the environment. They understand that using an electric vehicle reduces emissions, and that's a way for them to contribute, right? Today, transport is the biggest contributor for greenhouse gas emission today, right, across the globe. And many a customer understand this, and they want to transition to EV primarily for that as a reason. And we are happy that we are enabling that by providing electric vehicles that people can use and reduce the greenhouse emission. Apart from that, I think as a company also we are quite conscious, since we are in this space of clean energy. We ensure that things like recycling of battery, for example, right, which I think is eventually expected with all the electric vehicles. We already have set things in play so that we don't end up creating a solution for solving greenhouse emission and then lead to non-recyclable product going and then getting dumped somewhere. With the technology of battery that we use, every single component can be recycled, right? Unlike a petrol vehicle, for example, right? It's very hard for you to recycle a few things. So in a battery, it's very easy. The technology is something very simple, and there are enough partners whom we have already established who are ready to start recycling these batteries, and we've already started. Some of our users and some of the batteries have reached that stage from our mobility days, which we have already recycled, and we have set up that network already to ensure that there is no pollution that we cause doing this business either. Yeah, so that's how we are doing our bit to ensure clean transition happens, and we enable people to use electric vehicles as an enabler.
Right, right. I mean, it's wonderful that, Bounce has been taking these initiatives forward to, promote more of a sustainable, more of a ecological future. So, with
Right.
this, I'd like to come to a final point for today's interview. I want to know that looking ahead, what future innovations or developments can, consumers expect from Bounce Infinity in response to the evolving market trends and consumer preferences?
Yeah, see, as an OEM, right, like we constantly keep track of what is that a customer needs on the ground. Today, if you see, there is a big demand that we are seeing from the B2B side. A lot of companies that are in the logistics delivery business are understanding the benefits that they can get by using an electric vehicle, and they want to transition. Apart from that, also in the consumers, right, like B2C consumer who use it for their personal commute, there also we see people with different use cases. Somebody who travels, let's say, 30 kilometers a day, and there are customers who travels more than 100 kilometers a day, right? So we are building products that can suit to various use cases, right? I'll give you an example. So we have two models today. Each model comes with 3 battery variants, which a customer can choose. And each of these batteries gives different range starting from 65 kilometers up to 100 kilometers. And now a customer has an option to choose a battery that matches his use case. Thereby, his cost also is optimized. He is not forced to buy a big battery just because that's the only battery that we have. So that is something that we have consciously worked and built. The other thing, like I mentioned, is on the fast charging capability that we have built. We are the only OEM in India who have a portable fast charging solution today, right? Where a customer can fast charge a battery using a portable battery and a charger, and using any 15 amp socket, right? Like we are the only OEM doing that, and that's again a key innovation that we've able to crack. Third, again, around the battery swapping, like I mentioned. Battery swapping is another way that we believe will help mass adoption of EV. And currently, we are one of the only OEMs who are working on battery swapping, working with partners who can enable battery swapping. So these are things that we are doing to cater multiple use cases. Now, if you're a B2B customer, B2C customer, irrespective of who you are, we have the right solution for you to adopt to electric vehicles. And that's how we are looking at building and scaling this business.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, that's truly remarkable what you have achieved so far, and the steps that you are taking in order to grow and evolve, and along with that, build a sustainable future. And with that, I would like to thank you for being here today. It was truly a pleasure having you on, and thank you for sharing your valuable insights and the prospects of Bounce with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anushka. Thank you so much for having us here. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.